we were looking this up in the pre-show because we knew obviously United Healthcare is a massive company. It is, what is it, the 8th largest company in the Dow Jones Industrial Average?
Mm-hmm.
So the Dow Jones is 30 of the biggest companies in America, and it's number 8.
Mm-hmm.
That would be United Health Group, which United Healthcare is, I think it's probably the largest. It's a big portion of it. So it's a massive company. It's a massive company. They are about, I think their market cap is like about $500 billion. So just to put that in perspective, the smallest company in the Dow Jones Industrial wasn't 3M. There's one below 3M. I probably should have had this still up here.
Travelers?
Yes, Travelers. Good memory. And Travelers' market cap was like 50 billion, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that.
So it's like 10 times.
46 billion or something, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it is the 10 times the market cap of the smallest company in the Dow 30, which are the largest companies that trade on the American stock market. One of the largest companies, top 20 of worldwide. That's how big United Healthcare Group is. So it's not like, why is this story? I mean, obviously we're in Minnesota, so it's a Maple Grove company. Gentleman's from here. Brian Thompson's from Minnesota. He still has family. But it's just enormous size. Plus, when you think about the healthcare industry, they're the largest insurer.
O'Bannon says that he was from Maple Grove.
Yep.
It looks like this guy. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's where they're headquartered. Aren't they headquartered in Maple Grove? Or somewhere in the West Metro?
Might be.
There's so many United Healthcare or Health Group buildings.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Maple Grove. He's from Maple Grove for sure.
Realized that's my insurance provider at work.
I mean, yeah, of course. Oh, UNH is Minnetonka. That's right.
Okay.
That's Minnetonka. So he's from Maple Grove. I mean, they're all throughout the cities. You guys have seen their buildings, right? There's big ones all over the place. Yeah, it's a massive company. Okay. So this is I posted the video that came out yesterday. This actually got like 100,000 views on Twitter. This is a video. Let's go ahead and play this, Dawson. This is a video of the actual assassination. It's got the graphic warning on it. So this is the gentleman, Brian. This guy shoots him in the back. Reloads a couple times. Heads across the street. Eventually goes into alley. Gets on I've heard many different things. Like it's a rent-a-bike, one of those renting bikes. I've heard different than that. Gets on a bike and then basically disappears somewhere in Central Park. This is in downtown Manhattan or Midtown Manhattan. I think it's Midtown.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm no expert on Manhattan.
Yeah,
I've only been
Midtown.
there a couple times.
That's where I'm staying on. Oh man.
At the Hilton?
No, I'm staying in Manhattan.
Well, but see, that's just
guess
more
it's
my
big,
point,
but,
Dawson.
yeah.
It's like right there, so it looks like he got hit in the leg there. Okay, now I look at this and I see somebody that seems to be operating very well, as a shooter. Okay, so maybe
Targeted, right. This wasn't random.
Well, no, I don't just mean targeted. I think there's without any doubt that this targeted. Okay, Go ahead and cut the feed there. There's no doubt that this was targeted.
Right, because there was that other person who ran away right as it was going on. So if he was just a mass killer, he would have taken out everybody.
Here's my theory on why this guy looks like a pro. Brad Ganser asked, why does this guy look like a pro? I shouldn't say pro, okay? Let's say 3 different things, okay? A pro, like a pro assassin. I'm no expert on what a professional assassin is, right? I've never been in law enforcement. I know my background's in the military, so I can tell you what good shooters look like, right? So either a professional assassin, a competent shooter, or somebody acting in rage or, I mean, obviously
Vengeance.
a murder, but like your typical person that would commit a murder. What the hell does that mean? A typical person that commits a murder. Most people do not have steady hands. They don't shoot well. They don't have good form. the thing that I watch when I see that video is somebody that, I've heard it. Maybe the firearm was jamming. If it was jamming, he was so smooth in operating that. But that doesn't look like the right operation. I don't see him racking it like this. So what my thought was, it was a straight pull pistol, which really is one shot, one kill. I've heard all these theories. I am not an expert on, is it the suppressor that stopped this thing? Was it a subsonic round? It's certainly long enough so it looks like it has a suppressor on it. I think law enforcement even confirmed it did, even though they don't have the firearm. Subsonic round means that it doesn't produce enough energy for it to eject and then cycle. Okay, so no matter what, the guy is operating this firearm and re-engaging a target. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, if I took 20 people to a range, most people would not be able to operate that on a range with some bit of proficiency, let alone doing this in public while committing an assassination. So I might be going a little far saying this guy's a pro, but he isn't this noob. This guy's got training of some bit and proficient in the heat of the moment. I love all these people.
He looks a little practiced. He looked like it wasn't his first time using that weapon. It looked like, and honestly, it's crazy that there was such a clear camera angle of it. But Razzle Dazzle says 3 casings found on sidewalk hit him at least twice. I do not believe he was a pro. But yeah, and JM Teddy says I think he hit his leg first.
It does look like he's grabbing the leg on that one, right? But honestly, once again, I can't tell you how. See, I'm not so much opining on where the shot placement was, which would probably be more reason why this guy wasn't a pro, right? It's just the fact that he was, as Brad Gander said, he was calm and very proficient. That's the thing that's crazy to me.
Right.
Do you know how many people would not hold the firearm correctly, right? Like he's engaging the way you would shoot, right? And how they would not. Right. They would not be able to operate that. I don't believe this thing was being jammed. I think he knew it was either what they call a straight pull pistol, which are not common, right? Most people just have semi-automatic pistols. They automatically cycle. Or he knew, because he had subsonic rounds, that it wasn't going to eject the round or eject the casing and add another round, and so that he knew that he had to operate it, right? It is a little fuzzy, so it's kind of hard to tell. The firearm looked very big and long, okay? Yeah. So whatever it is, the guy, once again, is very proficient in keeping basically keeping it as level as possible as he re-engages. Okay, so that to me is wow, very good training. Now, none of this, I guess, matters to a whole degree other than the fact that this is not some gangster off the block. It's somebody that's got some bit of training. I do like how everyone becomes weapons experts. The one thing that gets me, Jesse, this was in the Trump attempted assassination attempt. You're like, I've heard everyone say this. Oh, it was 140 yards away. That is a chip shot with a AR. And I'm like, it maybe is a chip shot. By the way, it was iron sights, so it wasn't scope. It maybe is a chip shot at a range.
Right.
Maybe.
For
okay.
Marksman.
For someone that's proficient,
right.
Which the kid got some training. It maybe is. Do you understand how tricky? Most people don't understand this. Actually, every hunter understands this. You know what buck fever is, right? It's way different shooting at a live deer than it is shooting at a stationary target. Okay. Now, if you're in the military, you probably understand the stress of shooting under extreme conditions, especially in the case of, trying to assassinate the former president. Literally, you're probably about to die because someone's going to shoot you. This guy is in public. So there's all these experts. It's to me, it's there's this old saying that you fall back to your training, right? Things go bad in combat, so you fall back to your training. So the more you train, let's say your first shot is hitting him in the calf, right? Which it seems like is what happened. The fact that you can recover and re-engage and kill means that you're falling back to good training, okay? Unfortunately, for the case of Brian Thompson, this guy had good training. But the reason I'm bringing this up is, holy shit, you got a CEO of the largest insurer of a massive company, so massive that it's number 8 in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and he's proficient. Okay, so he's not. Can we just agree he is no regular guy trying to shoot somebody that would be shaky and would be terrible and overshooting like he's actually continuing to move, engages, and continues to move. Yes,
right.
too casual
about
yes.
it.
And then here's the other thing, and I don't hear this talked about, but Dawson and I were talking about before. How about the skill of evasion? He ends up getting on a bike, leaving into Central Park, never to be seen again.
And it was planned enough for him to be in disguise or at least be covered up so that he can't be recognized.
Well, I'm going to get to that in a second because we do have a image of his face apparently now. But he evades authorities, evades everyone else in like the most surveilled city in the United States of America. Like somehow he gets through with, I mean, I'm sure the law enforcement's got some other videos we just haven't seen, but oh my God, Brad says the other possibility is that he's a sociopath.
High functioning.
High functioning sociopath. That's right. High functioning alcoholic, right? And J.M. Teddy, he knew the city. Of course he knew the city. Yes, he knew the city. He had this thing planned out. Okay,
Marty 1967 says, thought guns were banned in New York City. Exactly. You know, it proves that this gun control does not work. And Brad Ganser says, Fox News just reported his name as Jason Bourne.
Badass.
Is that accurate?
No.
No, that's what I thought.
Jesse doesn't watch movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
In fairness, Jesse doesn't watch movies, okay? Just so you know.
I know I'd heard the reference before, but I was like, Jason Bourne, is that it? So, yeah, I don't care enough to waste hours of my life on fake crap. So.
Bruh.
Okay, so let's pull up, Dawson, the C2, and this is from, we did NPR. This is an image. This person went to... Just zoom in on that.
That looks like a chick.
That looks like a chick, yes. I'm glad you said that's what I was thinking. That looks... Now, once again, we don't need to assume genders here, okay?
It's New York.
It is New York.
Yeah, no dude has a smile like that.
That is a smile. You'll see the other image, the first one I saw, and it looks more like a dude. I think this is at Starbucks. Apparently, this individual went to Starbucks ahead of time. Shell casings with cryptic words were found at the scene of the shooting of Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, who was killed outside of a Manhattan hotel in New York, police officials say. The officials confirmed reports that the casings had the word deny, defend, and depose written on them, but did not specify how many shell casings were found, according to NPR member station. Words are similar to the title of a 2010 book, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. This is the theories going around on the internet right now, and then I'll get into lunacy of the left, almost basically praising this person. It literally seems like this person's going to be regarded almost in hero status with people on the left. I'm not joking about this, okay? A manhunt for the shooter is underway as police are trying to piece together details surrounding Thompson's death early Wednesday morning. A photo of a person interest in the a photo of a person interest. I think they meant to say a photo of a person of interest in the shooting was released by NYPD on Thursday morning. So this just says a person of interest. Okay, now look, that almost doesn't look like the same person, does it?
Are they just going off of the beige hoodie and the neck gaiter or whatever? Like,
yeah.
It's New York. There's going to be a million people wearing the same thing.
Sure, but the background is the exact same there. It's the same flooring pattern. You're saying in those two photos, is that what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is the same person because I see a lot of the same facial structures. It just really looks like the one on the left does look like a female.
Yeah, it's just...
The more you look at it, you could kind of see more of a man, but on the right, looks like more of a man. You know, to be honest with you, it does not look like a... it almost looks like somebody maybe from South America. Are you seeing that? That's the way I'm seeing it.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
You wouldn't go that far?
I don't know.
Like, okay, so the theory I had, and this is why I'm saying, like, someone from South America is, like, everyone wants to act like this is some person that was upset, like a customer of United Healthcare. It's like, I kind of wonder, was this Brian Thompson living some secret private life? Was he mixed up in drugs? Was he mixed up in gambling debt? You know what I'm saying?
So to me, I've seen too many movies. It's like the perfect. if the CEO is the super bad guy and the guy walks up and kills him with the bullets that are like the things that he says that are evil, you know, like I think that the bullets being those specific words or the casings, sorry, that makes it pretty clear to me that it's something insurance related, right?
Yeah, well, okay, if that's what you want people to believe.
I mean, sure, but there's like that could be.
Yeah, I would think
That's not
I
a
would
good
think if it's written
counter-argument.
on the casings, yeah, that's I didn't know that part. So with that, that makes it seem a little bit more like that was the motive, that it was something like that. But I mean, it's still an unusual thing because it's not like we're hearing about CEOs being murdered all the time. So it'd be unique for this to be a one-off circumstance like that, and why he would specifically be targeted.
If the motive,
I don't know.
If the motive, as you state it, okay, and you're not crazy in this because this is the talk right now. Talk of
Are
town.
you talking about what my motive for him is?
Yes, you guys are asserting that the motive is somebody that was a disgruntled customer.
Oh yeah,
right?
I bet
Okay.
his child couldn't get like cancer care or something.
Something like that,
Perfect.
right?
It's
Okay.
a movie.
So if that's the motive, then the suspects could be in the millions.
And isn't that the perfect like movie set piece, right? Where it's like
100%.
it could be anybody. Oh man.
Give me
Huh.
the cliff notes. I'm not watching.
You might want to watch that one.
Maybe.
It'd
maybe.
be good.
You know, I do feel bad because the guy's, you know, I don't know anything about this dude. There's a photo of him with Tim Walz at some charity event, which doesn't say anything, you know, so doesn't mean like this guy was.
Well, I'm sure he did good and bad, just as everybody does.
I was watching Sagar and Crystal and Sagar this morning, Jesse, on this topic, and Crystal is essentially, in some regards, almost applauding this happening.
Yeah, well, Chris.
She did it she did in a way where she could probably still show up to work the next day.
Right.
Okay.
She probably did it the same way she defended Jamal Bowman pulling the fire alarm. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Way different story, by the way,
ends
but
justify the means. You know.
Yes,
to
but
the left.
but basically, and you know, I'm just saying, why am I bringing up Crystal? Because yeah, I could point to a bunch of people on Twitter, like that doesn't matter. Maybe they're even fake, right? Maybe they're just trolls. Crystal is a mainstream, in some regards, journalist, or at least talking head. And if she is somewhat empathizing with the plea or the plight of this person, that leads me to believe, and this is why I wanted to bring this up on the show, and we probably will be talking about this a lot, because I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it a lot, that this is not going to be necessarily hated by America so much, the American public. Certainly not on the left.
Says, there's lots of possibilities in this case. Phil Cannon says he was known as a good husband, father, and friend in the community. I had seen some reporting from Daily Wire that he had sold shares worth $15 million 2 weeks before the public was aware of an antitrust federal lawsuit that was filed against him.
Yeah, pull up that article. What's
So-
at the C4?
Right, and you know, so that's out there too. I don't know if they're, you know, if people are trying to attach that in any way to this.
Well, I
but-
believe he was going to an investor meeting, if I remember right.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know where he was heading or anything, but
He sold shares worth $15.1 million, 1 second, just 2 weeks before the public found out about a federal antitrust probe.
so who knows if that's connected? But I mean, obviously, he probably wasn't the most innocent person in the world when it came to, you know, any person who is the CEO of a healthcare facility is not going to be Mother Teresa. Brad Ganser has
failed candidate for
$5
Minnesota
rubber rant.
for Maple Grove City Council. Let's hear.
Some of my friends have a personal connection to his family. He is highly regarded. The comments about his assassination are sickening. So, yeah, I mean, it is a person at the end of the day. And, yeah, I mean, I doubt that, you know, you can't put all the problems onto one person. So,
Yeah.
but, I mean, yeah, there's corruption within healthcare, but that doesn't mean murder is the solution.
Oh, of course not. And by the way, I was even debating, should I even put this video out there? I mean, obviously, I'm not the one that got the initial footage of the video, but like, should I even do it? Because out of respect. But to this point, it's like, he's not quite, you know, the president of the United States, but it's like at some point you don't have necessarily a private life, right? You know.
Yeah, and
being
if I got killed, I would want people to figure out who
Yes,
it was. Get to the
exactly.
bottom of it,
Exactly.
please. Yeah.
I think at this point there's maybe not danger at large for the public. In fact, law enforcement's even saying that. But if you're a CEO of an insurance company in particular, don't you think you might be a little concerned right now?
Well,
don't you think?
I'm sure that
Maybe.
that's what he intended, or he or she, the shooter intended, because like now everybody's talking about this, right? So I'm curious because I have seen people like being pro against this guy getting shot on Twitter, and obviously people are crazy there. But is it, if the best case, like his steelman argument in my case is his kid or his wife couldn't get an insurance claim and then they died for it. So where do you take out your anger? I guess on the health insurance company. It doesn't make a lot of sense because the CEO probably had no idea it was happening, that kind of thing. But would I feel empathy for the shooter if that was the case? Probably. But it's just more problems. That can't be just it's good or it's bad. I don't think it's possible.
There is a chart. I'm glad who put that there. I think it was Razzle Dazzle. Did you see insurance claim denials by companies? Dawson, will you try to find the chart? Denial claims by insurance companies. I'm just quickly on Google, and I'm not finding legit source, although I've seen the same chart from other sources. It's blue and it's got yellow. United Healthcare has got the most by percentage in denial claims. So once again, I mean, the going theory by most people, and why the left, it seems like the left at this point.
I've seen a little bit on both, but it's definitely more like...
What's the motivation on the right? Let's put it that way. What is the motivation on the right? Is it the populism on the right, too, that maybe we're getting screwed? By the way, here's the thing about Crystal. She's complaining about this, and she goes, maybe it's the perverted system, the bad system that even leads to this stuff. There it is. Okay, so insurance denials by or claims denials by health insurance companies. What is it? United Healthcare is like 32%. It's on the very bottom of that.
32% is kind of nuts.
Yeah, 1 out of 3.
That's crazy. Anyone who justifies his murder by looking at denial claims is effed in the head.
And so what do Medica's CEO needs to be worried now? Like, it's the big question. So, Crystal was like, this is what's so funny on the left is like, so she's like, why we should be mad at the politicians that set up a system like that. Don't be mad at the CEO, be mad at the people that created the system. I'm like, yeah, Obama and all the Democrats that voted for Obamacare. Because you know what gave the largest increase to places like United Healthcare Group was Obamacare. It's very nice when you're a private company and the government mandates they take your product.
Right. The mega corporations benefit from Obamacare.
Yes.
It's the mom and pop insurances, insurers that have a tough time competing in this industry now because of all of the federal regulation that's in there. They need to make insurance a much more localized thing. But that's of course separate from what's going on here.
So then, of course, when you really dig down deep, what's the left solution? It's universal health care, right? Yeah, maybe that's it. The hitman was somebody on the left. I'm going to go Venezuelan. That's what it looks like, Venezuelan. So it's a hitman so that we all get, universal health care passed in the United States of America. That's not going to happen. Or is it? Trump's in office. Can it happen? What do you think? That's not really my theory. My theory is that the guy probably had some secret private life, to be honest with you. I just can't imagine that's what this was. Like somebody that was upset about a denied claim. If it really is that, holy shit, this story is going to be with us for weeks. Well, it's going to be with us for weeks anyhow, because we don't know where the hell this person is, and we don't know who the person is. I mean, apparently, let's go back to these images. I guess, I don't know, maybe this will help. Maybe our audience is large enough where somebody will notice it. Maybe our viewer from across the pond, wink, knows this person. Go ahead and click on that, Dawson, and get a zoom in of that image. The he, she. Do you think this person's upset that he looks like a freaking chick in one of the images?
He needs to do more delt raises.
Yeah.
Get some broader shoulders. I do think
We assume that this is the shooter, though, by the way. It could have been someone of interest. There was a video of the shooter going down the street, and there was another person next to him, and he was on his cell phone when he was going down the street, which is also interesting. Other theories, what do you guys think? Ask yourself why a CEO was walking alone. I don't think that's...
CEOs do that, I would imagine.
Well, I don't even know if that is. He probably was just getting into a car at that point. Maybe his car was too down or something like that.
Get into an Uber or whatever.
I could see a CEO wanting to go for a walk. Maybe it was a couple buildings down, Maybe it was in the building that the meeting was going to happen, and he just wanted to go get he wanted to go get a Starbucks himself. I don't know. That doesn't seem crazy. I don't think this can happen. Now, the wife says that he has been getting some threats. It sounds like, from what we've heard so far, this came as a shock. God, there's a stupid theory going around. His wife hired a hitman. I mean, when you have this little amount of evidence for something so monumental, all the theories are going to come out.
Yeah. Like I'm always going to harken back to Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the correct one.
Okay, well, what's the simplest answer on this one, Dawson? What is it?
Someone who fired bullets with shells that said insurance-related stuff is shooting a CEO of an insurance company because they don't like insurance.
So simplest answer, when this has never happened ever, from my knowledge.
What hasn't happened?
An executive for an insurance company was murdered because of a disgruntled customer.
Because of something.
That's the simplest answer.
Because of something due to insurance, yeah.
Yeah, it's never happened before, so
Right.
that's the simplest answer.
Do you really not think it is? The insurance
I think
CEO?
actually...
You think the simplest answer is he's doing
I would say
drugs
there's
or
more
something?
murders of executives who had some secret life that caught up to them. That's happened many times.
I see what
Whereas
you're
I don't think there's ever been a case where a disgruntled customer has murdered an executive of an insurance company. I could be wrong on that, but without looking this up, and I don't know if you can look this up, I would imagine if you stack those two things up, the person, the executive running a private secret life, catching up to him, has happened more often.
Yeah, but then if you have the casings that are insurance related, that's like pretty on the nose a message you're trying to send.
Well, let's go back to that real quick. Okay, so this is also the media telling us to believe it. If we're going to go deep, what does Razzle Dazzle say? Let's read that comment before I find this article.
Maybe he knew he was guilty of insider trading and called it on himself for his family to cash in. I'm not going to guess it, right? Just a sociopath. Yeah, I mean.
Well, hold on, but yeah, murder is usually not covered in insurance policies.
Yeah, I don't know.
They'll get denied. See,
yeah.
I just joined the internet.
Well, I was
because that's what's happening in comment sections.
I was seeing news or like TikTok people talking about it, and all the bottom comments were like, "Oh, sorry, like that's not insured," and it's like,
yes,
oof.
Yes,
33% denial rate,
dude. Yeah, exactly. Like, ugh. Maybe this is the ugly part of our culture. The casing said the words. This is according to NPR. Deny, defend, and depose. Okay, that's what. Let's take that as a factual statement, okay? Deny, defend, depose. What then is stated, this is what the media is telling you to believe. You following me here? This is the media's narrative. What is this show about? Okay, what is this show about? It's similar to the title of a 2010 book, Delay, Deny, Defend. It's similar even though only one of those words is found on the bullet.
Two of them.
Oh, did I get that wrong?
Yep.
Deny and defend.
Oh, deny and defend is
33%.
Okay, so delay is it's the 30.
It's so
Live fact check 6 and 2/3.
Oh, goodness.
Well, because it wasn't in order, that's what screwed me up. Sorry, damn it. Okay, I look bad on that one. But depose is not on there, and depose would be another. Maybe the shooter's just an idiot, right? But it's not the exact same, right?
The shooter isn't an idiot. The person engraving the shell casings misspelled it. Oh my gosh, that's so goofy.
The he/she that did it. So instead of using the word delay, it's depose, which is interesting because depose is like what you would do if you were in a civil case, right?
Oh, okay, I guess so. How would I know that?
Is there another meaning for depose?
It sounds like dispose, but that must be different. I'll look.
There's another theory. I actually like where Razzle Dazzle's going. Deep state chaos and distraction. Press reporting was what they are told to say. Yeah, because most of the press, especially the state-run press, works for the CIA.
Oh, depose means to remove someone from a high position.
Yeah, I also thought there was a different definition.
Dude, again,
isn't it?
that's like movie stuff. What happened? What this is?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. That's poetic and gross. It's weird.
So in other words, the idea here is, you denied, you defended, and now we're deposing you.
That's crazy. That's oh my gosh.
And did they purposely shoot only three shots for that reason? I thought it was 4 shots from that.
What would the last one say? Oops, I missed. I don't know.
That's what we know, folks. That's all we know at this point. The day after.
That's crazy.
Happened yesterday morning. So we're approaching 30 hours after this thing occurred. That's what we know. Man or woman hunt still on the way.
Is this all we have of?
That's what we have. That's
stuff?
apparently beforehand. I think that's at Starbucks. Looks like he's on a counter waiting for his,
And people are claiming
latte.
People are claiming this guy isn't a pro, and he's just disappeared. And it's like, okay, well, we have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're wrong.
I mean, smiling too, which is really eerie.
About to go kill somebody. Let me grab my caribou.
Once again, I don't know if it's a pro. I think there's good arguments against this person being a pro. Yeah, razzle dazzle, just hit the nail on the head. Was this person in a BlackRock commercial too? That is the most interesting thing. I just got reminded about that again. I was listening to some podcast on how what's his name, that the would-be assassin on Trump, Crooks, that he literally was in a BlackRock commercial. We played that here. I mean,
it's pretty crazy.
I know. I know it's like there's just some coincidences that are just too insane, and that's one of those ones that's just too insane. Of all the high schools that BlackRock could do this like dramatic commercial of, they picked the one that he's in and he's starring in it. It's just like, show more thoughts on the GOP race.